Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Olivia and this is my channel where I love to talk about all things nail polish. And we are almost at Halloween. Boo! Yeah, so there's that. Halloween, as of the filming of this, is just a few days away, and I know that it can be a really fun holiday to be festive with all kinds of costumes and decorations, and that can also include nail art. Now, I will say that I am someone who personally can struggle with nail art for a number of reasons. I sometimes find that even if I'm just trying to draw on paper, drawing a stick figure is like the most that I can do. And then also when it comes to painting my nails and trying to paint like a design on my nails, there can be times where either the hand that I'm painting will have a little bit of shakiness going on, and or the hand that I'm painting with will be shaky. So there's a lot of shakiness, not as much artistic talent when it comes to doing these very intricate designs that I see many nail artists doing. So if you can relate to any of that, like if you are wanting to be festive for Halloween, you want to have some cute nails, you want to have something that is on brand for Halloween, but maybe you don't necessarily know how to do that, or maybe you forgot that Halloween is happening and you need some cute nails for that. So in this video, I've got you covered. What I wanted to do was to do some research for a number of different so-called easy nail art ideas for Halloween and put them to the test and see exactly how easy they might be for me. And thinking that if it's easy for me and I can show how to do that, hopefully you all can get some inspiration for your Halloween nails as well, and be able to get a better sense of exactly how you can use a few techniques here and there to build up to something that's really fun and festive. So in this video, I've got 7 different Halloween nail designs that I'm going to show you. And the way that in preparation for this video, I decided to lay them out was to start with what I think is going to be the easier designs first, and then going up to what will most likely be the most challenging for me. I'm looking forward to having some fun with this. I'll say it's been a rough week for me at work personally. My company unfortunately went through a very large number of layoffs, and fortunately my job was safe, but it is something that still affects all of us in one way or another when you the uncertainty that comes from the situation, seeing people that you've come to care about, working with, lose their jobs just overnight. So if my energy throughout this video seems a little bit off compared to my usual self, just know that that's what that is. I think it's important for me to just be open and transparent and just say, hey, I'm human. And for me, sitting down tonight and just, I wanted to do something that would be fun for me, that because there's a number of people in my life that I want to be there for them and to help support them with what they are going through, but knowing that I first need to ensure that I have taken the time to fill up my cup, because that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. And so I'm just looking forward to putting all that to the side, having this list of 7 different Halloween nail art designs that I'm gonna try to do. Chances are some of them are gonna be a little bit wonky, but I'm gonna have fun with that. And so yeah, I guess the last thing I'll say before I get into this is that I know that there's just a lot of difficult things going on in the world right now, in addition to like what I mentioned about, like in my case, in my company, layoffs. And so I just hope that for any of you who may also be going through whatever kind of personal, financial, economic, any other kind of struggles that you're going through, my heart is with you. I hope that you're able to use this video and the others on my channel as a way to find whatever kind of happy escape that you need from the realities of the rest of the world. And again, my thoughts are with you. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and get into some Halloween nail art. Boo! First, I'd like to begin by walking you through the 6 different polishes that I've pulled out from my collection that I'll be using today. Part of the choices that I made in selecting which nail art designs to do would be something that you didn't need to necessarily have like really any kind of specially finished polishes or anything fancy like that. These are all basic cream polishes, and if you have anything similar to these in your collection, you'll be able to do everything that I'm showing today. So just to do a quick run through of the ones that we've got. For white, I'm using ILMP's Canvas. For black, I'm using Bee's Knees Lacquer Void. For yellow, I have Sally Hansen Insta Dry. Oh, that is hard to read here with the white font. My Cabanana. You know that Sally Hansen loves those puns, so it's like my Cabanana. Yeah, something like that. For green, I've got Crack Polish Ooze. Also from Crack Polish, I've got a red polish that is Calabrian Pepper. By the way, I love this one. I got this about a month or so ago, and it is just the most delicious shade of red. For me personally, it's a little bit too holiday leaning to where it's like a full manicure in fall, but I cannot wait until the Christmas season because this is the perfect red for that. But today I'm just going to be using it as an accent color, and I chose this one over some other reds because of just how much I know it's going to pop. And then last is orange. I have Essie Tangerine Tease. Okay, like I said in the intro, I've arranged these designs in order from easy difficulty in the beginning to most difficult at the end, and the first one should be very, very easy. It's gonna be a ghost, like a simple straight up ghost. I've started by doing a couple of coats of white here. And just as a piece of advice for how I typically do nail art, whenever I'm needing to like put designs or like design elements, I guess I would say, on top of say like a blank or a solid color background, what I'll do is do the solid background first, then go in with a layer of top coat, and that makes it, at least in my experience, a much easier surface to work from when it comes time for me to go back in and then try to paint on top of that. Otherwise, again, just from my experience, if I were to try to paint like some design elements on top of this, and if there were no top coat, it tends to be a little bit more streaky. So having top coat on that to paint over is something I would recommend if you're going to try this out. Okay, so we've got a ghost, and for this, the only other color that I'm going to be using here is black, and I'll be showing you a little bit of what my personal nail art process is as well. I have these little like palette sheets here. You can see that it's got like a nice little reflective surface so that it's easy to work from. And I'm just gonna do a few drops of black here. Not too much for now. I'm gonna come back to this later, but for now, just a little bit here. So as I'm doing this out, I'm gonna say, how do I think that this ghost is going to turn out? I mean, as I'm looking at the reference image here, it is really just like 3 ovals, 2 ovals and a circle. So let's see what I can do here. And by the way, this is the brush, or the, yeah, that's a brush. Why am I, my mind is just drawing a blank right now. This is what I'm gonna be using here. Okay. Oh, that's, you know what? Actually, I'm glad that this is happening because I do want to show you this as something. Let me see if I can, do you see that kind of like stringiness right there? Right? Like it and if I can get this to focus here, you might even be able to see that there is still some like stringiness coming off of the brush. This is, you don't want this unless that's something that's part of your design. The reason being here, I want this painting to be as clean as possible. And if I have like stringiness here in the polish, what that is indicating to me is that I most likely need to add some thinner to my polish in order to prevent that from being stringy. So what I'm gonna do now is go off camera for a couple seconds, put some thinner in here, and then come back once I've got a better consistency for this. Okay, I was not expecting that to happen, but like I said, I'm kind of glad that it did, because that is something that can happen quite often with nail art. If you know, if you've never seen that before, you definitely don't want to proceed with that kind of stringiness. So now that I've put some thinner in there, let me show you the difference here. So like, you see the difference, like it's not as opaque, but the thing is, with any kind of polish, especially a black, you can always build that up. What you can't do is like just straight up erase a stringy line that you put onto your canvas. So here we go. Oh, that is much better. Okay. So back to our regularly scheduled program, where I'm going to try to draw an oval. Just going to start with one oval. Here we go. Let me just get this in focus. Okay. And as I'm sketching this out, I will say, have fun with this. It's nail polish, it's nail art. You don't have to be perfect with it. This is whatever you want this to be. I mean, like right now, that eye is way bigger than I thought it was going to be. So his the ghost's other eye is going to be a little bit smaller. But the point here is this is going to be recognizable as a ghost. I'm hoping. Okay, so my reference photo shows the top two are more like ovals, and the one on the bottom is more of a circle. Okay. Sorry, I'm just like laughing here because I mean, it looks like a ghost, right? That is totally a ghost. Boo. So, as with anything, practice makes better. And so, I would recommend, if you are wanting to do any of these, use something like swatch sticks or a swatch wheel to kind of like sketch it out first, unless you do want to have like, you know, these size eyes. But hey, we're starting off easy. Step one accomplished. We've got a ghost. So let's go on to the next one. The next one that we've got is candy corn. I'll mention, by the way, that for each of these nail art designs, I'm gonna include a link in the description of this video to the page, or like whether it's a web page, or I think a couple of these may have come from Instagram, where I originally found the inspiration for these. Part of it is that, of course, I want to give credit to the creators of these, but also those pages typically have some other fun and cute designs that you can have for inspiration, and I think it can also be helpful to be able to have like a static reference image in front of you to know what you're working towards. Okay, so we've got candy corn, and this is another one that's relatively straightforward. I'm starting once again with a plain white background that I've already gone and layered some top coat on that should be dry by now. And I've put out on my palette here some orange and some yellow. Now, I've done it before with other designs where I've tried to like use the nail polish brush to be able to like segment out the sections there, but that didn't really work as well. So what ended up happening was that it became very brush strokey and didn't have the nice clean lines I was hoping for. So I'm going to try and do this with my brush here. And like I said in the beginning, I'm someone who can tend to have like shaky hands, and like as I'm saying this, I'm shaking. So one, I just want to normalize for those of you who also, for whatever reason, have shaky hands. It is okay. It is something that I deal with too. And so I just want to show you all some ideas for how I'm able to do what I can to work around that, to know that like I'm basically giving myself the grace to not have completely perfect, solid, straight lines here. I mean, that's not bad actually. So what I'm trying to figure out now is, do I want to go in like fill this in with this, or try to fill it in with the nail brush or the nail polish brush? I think I'm going to see what I can do here with this. Oh, okay. So now it's like, I think what I would recommend here that I didn't even realize I was doing is, if you can make that the width of your lines about the same width of your polish brush, that actually makes it very easy to be able to go in just like that, and boom, you've got your orange band right there. Nice. Okay, so let me wipe off my orange and my little tub of acetone up here. By the way, as I was painting the white background for this one and waiting for it to dry, I texted my husband a picture of this ghost, and I was like, boo, and he said, oh, spooky. So yeah, I was gonna say he recognizes it as a ghost, but then I just realized I said boo, so he should know that it's a ghost, but it's a cute ghost either way. Okay, next, let's just get this back in focus. I'm going in with a yellow line here. I don't think I necessarily need to, but it's like, I think it's gonna make it a little bit easier for me to have a clean separation there. Okay, yep, just like that. Because now what I'm thinking is, if you do the line there with the yellow, it gives you that barrier. And so now I don't have to worry about my yellow bottle brush bumping up against that orange line. And I can really just go in and be like, whoop, just like that. Nice. Y'all, candy corn, boom. That is, oh, I am so happy with this. I'm off to a fantastic start here. Something else I would recommend, that based on my experience with doing nail art designs, I tend to wait even a little bit longer than I normally do to have my polish fully dry and then add in top coat. I think I would say maybe waiting like even 10 or 15 minutes for each of these to dry before I would feel absolutely comfortable with going in with top coat, just because I know that when you build up polish in these really thick layers like this, even like with the eyes here on the ghost, that can sometimes have a tendency to smear when you go in for top coat. So just a piece of advice, wait a little bit longer than you normally would. But y'all, we've got a ghost, we've got candy corn. Oh, okay, this is looking great. Let's go on to the next one. The next design is creepy googly eyes. I saw this one and thought, okay, this will be a fun one to do, especially for those of you who, if your main tool that you have to work with is a dotting tool that's got like 2 different sizes on it. This one I've started with a black background that just like before, I have put top coat over and I've let this sit for a few minutes so that I've got a nice dry clean surface to work from. And the way that I'm going to do this is use the larger size of my dotting tool to create the white background for the eyes. And then once those have dried for like 5-10 minutes, I'm going to go back in with the smaller side of the dotting tool dipped in black and put over there. Between those two, I guess, layers, I don't think that it's enough of a difference that I need to do top coat in between the white backgrounds of the eyes and the dots in there in black, but we'll see how it goes. I do just want to emphasize that for those of you who are newer to nail art, that I think that patience is one of the most important tools to have as part of the process, because you want to ensure that you are giving yourself and giving your nails the time to dry in order to have the effect that you're looking for with building things up. And I need to put a little bit more white over here. As I was waiting for my black and the top coat to dry, I added some thinner into my white polish here so that I wouldn't run into the same issue that I did with the black one. And I can see that it's got a nice, good, somewhat runnier consistency, but like that's what I want it to be so that it's not going to be stringy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go in and make some dots with the larger size. So let's see, I'm going to start down here. Bloop. Oh no, I'm not going to make sound effects this whole time. Okay, with the dotting tool, just take your time with it, and like when you pull that up, be mindful of any kinds of strings that you see coming with that, because if you do see that a string of polish is coming up, it's okay. Just kind of like, if you catch it, you're able to almost like pat it back down with the dotting tool and it's going to be okay. All right. And the reference photo has this like at an angle, so I'm going to see how I want to position these. Oh, there we go. So those are my first two right there. Looks like I've got them close enough together to where you can tell they're clearly going to be a set of eyes, but not so close where you're just like, you just got like one eye, like a big mega eyeball going on here. Okay, I'm gonna do the ones in the middle kind of more at an angle, I think. Whoa, that's a big one. Was not expecting that one to be as big as it was. You can almost see too how there's like a little bit more polish creeping off on the right side of it. It's gonna be a wonky eye. I'm totally here for it. Okay. There we go. Oh, you can almost see what I mean about like that stringiness there, but I caught that just in time. Okay, and then the last set we're gonna put up here right on top. Okay. This is going way better than I thought. I feel so proud of myself right now. Like, I'm doing this. And honestly, this was the intention for this video, to present these designs in a way that all of you who are watching this from various skill levels, you feel that you can do this too. By the way, if you see that string right there that I'm talking about, that's what I mean. So I'm gonna like twist this around a bit and see if I can pat it down. Oh goodness. Whoa, that is super stringy. Okay. There we go. I was able to kind of rescue it there. I'm not sure how much of all that was in focus, but I'm kind of glad that happened so that you can see, hey, this is something that can happen and it's okay. This is why you want to take your time with it. And actually, if I rotate my dotting tool here a bit, I want to get the dotting tool in focus, but like not on that. I can actually still see the, let's see if I can hover it there. There's like a string that's like hanging off on the side of this here. It's refusing to get in focus, but hopefully you can see that there. If that is happening as you're doing nail art, just know it is a very normal, very common thing that happens. Just make sure to do this even more slowly than you think you will need to. And once again, on that topic of patience, the next thing that I'm going to need to do is pause and wait, because all of these little dots here are very wet and they're going to need to take some time to dry. So I'm going to give this maybe between 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'll come back and switch over to the smaller side and we'll put some center dots in there. Okay, be right back. So it's been a few minutes, I think 5, 10, something like that. And I've waited for the white dots to dry. I've also gone ahead and added some fresh black polish over here that I'm going to dip the smaller end of my dotting tool into. I will say I'm really having a lot of fun with this tonight. This is exactly what I needed tonight, just to sit down, do some like creepy creative stuff and just have a blast with that. So see, that is way too stringy. So I'm going to put some fresh polish over here. Let me try this one more time. This is a part of the process that I think is very important to include, because something that I personally did not realize when I first got started with trying to do nail art months and months ago was the factor of like the consistency of the polish that you're using, and how if something is a little bit gloopier than you expect it to be, that can impact your ability to get the desired result. I have seen, however, there are some times where you might want some gloopiness, like if you're trying to do some like blood splatter art or something like that. That seems like that could go really well for you. Okay, yeah, that's better. Okay, so I've got my smaller end here, and my I'm gonna go in the exact same order that I did. And let's see, looking at the reference image, some of these are kind of cross-eyed in the reference photo. I'm just gonna say I'm just gonna aim for whatever, and we'll see how these turn out. Okay, I'm just gonna go straight in and pull out. Oh, look at that, that's so cute. Okay, let me try another one. And by the way, I think it's helpful to make sure you like get some fresh paint in between, so that I guess I'll say like the depth and the saturation of like that eye is going to match what I put on this one here. Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm talking about these like they're little babies or something. I'm feeling great about these. They actually look like googly eyes. That's amazing. Let's put this back in focus here. Okay, oh yeah, this is the one that was like the super big eye. I'm gonna put this more like in the corner. See if I can get like a special effect from that. And what I'm doing here, I'm kind of like dabbing it up and down to get the, to make sure that, like I mentioned earlier, if there is any kind of stringiness, the up and down will help to prevent that from happening. Oh my goodness, why is my black polish so gloopy today? I'm just going back and putting some more in. Honestly, it might be, I think this polish is, I'm just like straight up trying to like pour it out of here now. There we go. It's at the point where I think it's halfway full in this bottle. So it might be at the point where I need to like open a new bottle of this and then start using that up. And then once that is halfway down, I'll combine the two. But for now, it's okay. I just poured out some, so I've got a nice, good pool here to work with. Okay, getting back to our googly eyes. And so in this case, I just did like a simple black and white, but another way that you can add some variation to this, you could maybe do different colors of eyes if you wanted to bring in that kind of effect. You could maybe add some hollow to this somewhere if you wanted to. The possibilities are endless. I really just wanted to show you like the basic version of this, so that once you get a sense of what you're able to do with this, it's going to be up to you to decide exactly how you want to mix and match. Okay. I will say the second to last one did get a little stringy there. Let me get this into focus. If you see the one on the top left, there's a slight bit of stringiness in there. So I just want to show you this as an example of what you may want to look for as you're working with a dotting tool. I know it can be tempting to want to just like dot, 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 rush through them, but I cannot emphasize enough, as you're using these tools, please make sure to keep a good sense of focus on the consistency of the paint that you're working with, and know that it's okay to pause, put some thinner in there, and do whatever you need to do to get that consistency just right. But y'all, we got googly eyes. Woo! Okay, let's go on to the next one. The next design that we're going to try to do is a spider web. This is one that I initially saw in ILMP's email newsletter about a week or so ago, I think. It looked pretty straightforward, the idea that you start with whatever color background that you want, and then you go ahead and follow a few simple steps to draw the lines and connect them, and boom, you've got a spider web. Now, for this, I've decided to use a yellow background just to add in a little bit more color, because we've been doing a lot so far with black and white. Figured I'd mix things up a bit. And then I've also gone ahead and opened up a brand new bottle of my black cream polished Bee's Knees Lacquer Void, just because, like I mentioned before, it's been a little bit stringy today, and so I think it was time for me to just start with a fresh bottle. Okay. So this one we're going to go back to using like a detail brush like this, and I'm going to start in, I think, my bottom left corner, and this is where, oh my goodness, that is way thicker than I wanted it to be. Okay, it's all right, we're going to work with this. Let me get this back in focus here. This is gonna be fine. It's art. It's art. Ooh, okay, you know what? Actually, what's happening here? Okay, see, this is actually why it's so important to do what I mentioned about waiting to have something dry. Let me see if I can get this in good focus here, because what's happening is that there are these little like ridges, like little ripples that are happening. Okay, there we go. So I had to kind of work with this a bit, but do you see how there's like these little ripples that are happening? That was what I was trying to avoid, but I've been having so much fun with this. I've just been like, ooh, what do I do next? What do I do next? It has been so hard for me to like take the patience that I need to like let it dry. Realistically, what you could probably do, like if you're doing a full hand of this and you know that you're doing like the ghost on your pinky, candy corn on your ring, googly eyes in the middle, and so on, or however you want to mix it up, you could probably like go and do all of them at once in a way that makes it so that like while you're waiting for parts of the ghost to dry, you're jumping ahead and starting to work on the candy corn, and then when you're waiting for that to dry, you're doing googly eyes and so on. But for me, because I'm doing this in a way where I want to show you like step by step, I'm just getting very excited, and it's a little bit hard for me to be patient, but I'm gonna try. So now that it's dried a little bit more, I'm doing another line here. And then I think I'm gonna do a total of 4 of these. Like that. This is what I mean when I say that I sometimes cannot draw a straight line, but that is all right. And I'll draw that one there. This is going to be a spider web. I believe in myself. I believe I can do this. For this next stage, you don't necessarily need to wait for this to dry, but what you're going to do is then, oh, I just dragged some black on there. That was not supposed to happen. You're gonna do these like curved connecting lines between the ones that you just drew, like that. And you see how I kind of pointed it up there? That helps to make it look even more web-like, if you will. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. Swoosh. Yep, this is okay. It's a web. Let's do the next one. Okay. She's getting there. We're gonna make this work. Okay. I'm going back in and doing the same thing. Now doing like another row. Okay, yeah. Not bad. Also, I think it's important to note, like, sometimes what will happen with me if I'm doing nail art and it's not looking the way that I want it to, I will keep doing stuff to try to get it to look like something. But one of the things I've learned is that it's so important to like sometimes just stop and to not do more. So keep that in mind, do with that advice what you will. But in this case, I do see like, I do want to make this bottom line just a little bit longer so that, you know, that totally makes a difference there. And then with that, I'm just gonna add one more swoosh. Okay. So this this is design number 4. Like I mentioned, I ordered these in a way where we're going up in difficulty. So I mean, for this being my first time trying this, I'm not mad at it. But I think that I would probably see this as being one where I would definitely want to practice it a little bit on swatching like this before I put it on my actual nails. Let's go on to the next one. Next up is a jack-o'-lantern. And I will say, as I was starting to paint this out and to put the base layer of this orange here, I've mentioned in other videos here in my channel, I don't often wear orange, but I guess I'd forgotten just how gorgeous this particular orange is. This is, again, Essie Tangerine Tease. So if any of you are looking to do some cute Halloween nails, but you don't already have a good orange cream polish in your collection, I recommend Essie Tangerine Tease. You can probably find it in a local drugstore. And this right here took about 3 coats to build up to this level of opacity. Okay, so we've got a jack-o'-lantern. You might be wondering, well, why did I put that as a higher level of difficulty than our beloved spider web? And I think for me, the challenge is when you have so many different elements that need to go onto a nail, it can be difficult to ensure that you are properly spacing things out and not like, okay, I have a tendency to like whatever the first thing that I put down, like I will make an eyeball like take over the entire nail and then be like, oh, I need to do another eye and then a nose and a mouth. So I am going to see how this goes. And yeah, this we're gonna start with 2 triangles at the top. Okay, that is doable. I can do that. Okay, so let's get this in the focus. Also, I'm trying not to like make all the usual struggle sounds that I do when I'm doing nail art. Like I'm usually like doing some kind of just like every single line that I draw has a sound effect that goes with it, so I will not subject you to all of that. Okay, so far this is not bad. I'm like being extra mindful about how I am placing these here. And then it looks like the next thing in the reference photo is like a smaller upside down triangle in the middle there. Okay. Oh, look look at that. And then I've seen some examples of like the jack-o'-lantern mouth where they go like really into like, how would I describe it? You know, where it has like the little like steps in it, like the little like up and down zigzag kind of thing. If you want more of a challenge, you can absolutely try to do that. But I'm just gonna go for like a mouth, just like a regular, like, okay. Oh yeah, okay, that's yeah, that's a mouth right there. All right. So I'm gonna go back in now and fill these in. And with this, you know, I think it could probably be the case that like, if you take a look and see like the black that I got right there, it's not completely even just yet. So what I would probably end up doing is allowing it to dry and then going back in later on with an additional touch up just to make it so that I don't see any of the orange peeking through the eyes. But I mean, this isn't bad, right? Like if I were to like show this to somebody and be like, hey, what's this? I would hope they would say a jack-o'-lantern, right? But for some reason, I'm just laughing at this because it looks more like a human face than a jack-o'-lantern face. I don't know what's throwing me off. It might be because of the shape of the nail. It's like longer than it is wide, which is what I normally think of with jack-o'-lanterns. But okay, this one was pretty easy. So my recommendations for this one, based on what I did, I think be very cautious and mindful as you are spacing out your elements there. Just try to get a good sense of where you want to put like the two eyes. And once you've got that, it's very easy to then go and put the nose, and then boom, you've got a mouth. And there's so many different ways you can make this even fancier if you want to. But I'm very happy with this. I'm gonna go off camera and probably touch up a little bit of the black before moving on to the next one. But yeah, we've got a couple more to go. The next design that we're gonna do is Frankenstein's monster. And for this one, what I really like about the blog post or website where I found the design inspiration is that they have two different designs that go well together. There's one where it's like the monster's face, except he looks so cute. Like, how can you call that a monster? He's so adorable. But then there's also the design that you can consider to be more of like an accent nail, where it has like the lines with the hashing and the stitching. So I'm going to start with that one first to make it easy for myself, because remembering what happened not that long ago with the spider web and my ability to draw somewhat straight lines, we'll see. This one, it looks like, you know, you kind of just go like that. Like you draw a straight line and then, oh, you know, that's a good question. Do I want to wait for that to dry first or go straight in? You know what, as I'm asking that question, I think I'm answering my own question, in that I'm gonna give it just a moment to dry to prevent any potential smearing. But then I also want to ensure that as I'm going in and drawing the other lines up here, that I'm like leaving enough space to where these lines can stay distinct and that they won't be like intersecting or anything like that. So let's see, I think I'll go like that. Okay. This is the point where when I do nail art, sometimes I'm like, I know I should wait a moment for things to dry, but I'm feeling ambitious. So I'm just gonna go in and, you know, be brave, be bold, see what happens. And this is working. Okay, so I'm drawing another one there. Switching over to this one, just going straight. I'm, for the most part, dipping back into my black paint or nail polish after each one so that I get the full color payoff. And then it looks like, yeah, you do want to leave like a little bit of an end there. So like I wouldn't want to put the intersecting line like right on the end there. I want to leave just a little bit of space, and I probably have room for one, maybe two if I want to. Okay, that looks good. Okay, that's pretty good for what I'm going for there. And you can see how this kind of Frankenstein monster-ish accent now could be something that is very easily recognizable for like what it is, especially like the color choice here is such a big part of what's going to sell this. So again, the one that I'm using is Crack Polish Ooze. So now now I had to draw a face. Okay, so in my reference photo here, it looks like Frankenstein has some hair first. He's got like, not bangs, but I can give him bangs. He's got like this little sawtooth haircut going on. So I'm going to go up like that, just do like some mountains or something. This is another strategy that I think can be helpful if you are feeling somewhat intimidated about doing nail art. Like, just tell yourself what shape you're doing. And like, I know here, obviously, this is supposed to be hair, but the trick for me is like, if I get too caught up in my head and tell myself it has to look like hair, it has to look like hair, then I'm just gonna freak myself out. Whereas what I told myself just now was, it's just some zigzags up and down. That's all that it's gotta be. And that, in this case, actually helped. So yeah, I've got that as a good foundation there. And I'm gonna wait for that to dry. It looks like the next thing that I'm going to want to do will be to give Frankenstein some eyes, or give the monster some eyes. Okay, and this is my thought process for this is that I need to keep my spacing for this in mind, because what I need to be mindful of like just how many other elements are still needed to be put on there. Like, I need to give him eyes, but he also has a nose, he's got a mouth, he's got some cheeks going on. So I've got to be very mindful with how I use my space. So you know, the googly eyes that we did earlier, that was a good practice, because we're going to do that exact same thing here. Now this reference photo has it where it looks like the pupils of his eyes are kind of like in the corners, so where there's more of a sense of movement. Honestly, if I can just get these looking like any kind of eyes, I will consider that a win. I don't know who he's going to be looking at. As long as it looks like he's looking at something, that's going to be victory for me. So I'm gonna go, and I've got the bigger end of my dotting tool. We're gonna try to aim these like in the center. Oh. That did not come out as big as I thought it would. Uh-oh. This guy's gonna have like one eyeball that's way bigger than the other. I can already tell. Okay, next one. Okay. I mean, like, okay. They're not on the same, like, they're not even, but that's okay, because like what's really going on, he's tilting his head. See, like that was intentional, right? There's motion. That's why his eyes are not even right there. It's totally a stylistic choice that I'm making, clearly. So I'm gonna let that sit and dry. I just want to emphasize again, for those of you who are following along with this, please make sure that you are having fun with this process. If you know you're doing this and it doesn't feel like fun, you don't have to do nail art. You don't have to do nail art this way. Figure out what options make it fun for you, because that is really what I encourage you all to be getting out of it. And I'm having a blast with this. It is just, even with that spider web, that was fun for me. Like, it's, you know, it's just be creative with it. Okay, we're gonna give him a nose now. This looks like it should be easy. One line that way. Okay, I'm gonna stop there before before it no longer looks like a nose. Okay, he's got a nose. And now he's got a little bit of like a smirk going on with his mouth. Okay. Oh, okay. There he is. Look at that. And then he's got a couple of those like hash marks, like the stitching going on either side. So this is where it becomes tough because, you know, you gotta be mindful about how much available space do you still have to work with. And it's not a whole lot here, so I might be even extra cautious with this. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna give him a line. Like that. Oh, that was, oh. Oh, that ended up being kind of more of a smudge. That's okay. That's okay. Y'all, this is why we have accent nails, because like that's kind of, that's a thing. But like, we've got the option for accent nails around this to really help the viewer to understand what it was that we were going for. With that being said, I'm gonna go back in with my black now, and I think I'm gonna see if I can try to fill in as much of this here as I can with the brush, making sure that I keep, you know, the definition in those amazing bangs that I gave him. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Brad Mondo would be so proud of the way that I cut these bangs for this man. Okay, yeah, there we go. Nice. Okay, and then the last thing that I think I want to do, I should probably wait a little bit longer for the eyes to dry, but I'm curious to see how this will go if I just want to go in and very quickly give him some pupils. Let's see. I'm going to try to make it look like he's looking to the side. Let's go for that, because the googly eyes are centered, but let's mix it up. So maybe he's looking down. I can definitely do him looking down. Okay, see, look at that. Okay, yes, there's movement, there's motion in here. I'm loving this. Okay, let me just make his eye a little bit bigger. There we go. Oh, he's so cute. And now he just needs one more eyeball. Okay. And oh, look at that. Okay, that is so cute. I really like how this turned out, everything of it. And you can probably see now what I mean about why this was like, we're building up to this. And this is doable. I mean, I'm looking at my my timer here as I'm filming this, and like these two nails together, I'm at like 11.5 minutes right here, which, you know, can be quite a bit of time for just two nails. But I think that if you are mixing and matching, this is something that's absolutely doable. And oh my goodness, it looks amazing. Okay, we've got one more to go. The final design that I'm going to try for this video is a vampire, and it is not just a vampire but also has an accent nail with it, very similar to what we did over here for Frankenstein's monster, knowing that even though, I mean, look again how cute that one is, this is still recognizable as the monster, but having a certain accent nail together with that will really help to sell the image of what it is. In this case, I'm also going to start with the accent nail first, which looks like some blood splatter blood drops. And there was one of my videos that I did a couple weeks ago where I tried out like a similar nail art design where I had like, you know, some blood drips. It can be a little bit tricky to do for the first time with like the shaping and everything, but you know what, we're gonna give it a go and see what works. This is going to be a combination of our dotting tool and also a paintbrush, I think. So I'm going to start with, I think, let's do the larger end of that. Put it in the red. And what I'm seeing in the reference image here is that to really like sell that image of being like blood splatter or blood drops, you want things to be kind of mixed up and not necessarily uniform. So I'm just gonna put some dots like scattered throughout here. I said make it random, and yet I'm doing this in a very like uniform way. That's okay. So I've got that. Now I'm going to go in with my brush. And that is a lot of paint, a lot of polish. I'm going to kind of connect these here. And it looks like, you know, you want to have like a little bit of curviness in there because there's a sense of motion in that. Let's see. And it's okay if you don't get it exactly right to begin with. In this case, what I really do like is that there's like more splatter or droplets that are going to be down there. So I'm just going to make some of these pieces a little bit like bigger here for now to give the impression of where this stuff is dropping from. Okay. Now from this point, and it looks like I probably should put just a little bit more red out here to help with this. So I see in the reference photo, the rest of the nail has a combination of like various sizes of various sizes of like, you've got some larger red dots, you've got some smaller ones as well. So I'm going to do that with the larger size first. Ooh, that is a lot on there. Okay, and again, just kind of tell yourself you're just putting random dots on here. Don't worry if the vision is not there just yet. I promise it will come together. I'm gonna flip this over to the smaller side, and now just kind of think, where can you put this that it looks like blood dropping? Like you don't want it to be so like perfect, like a perfect pattern, but you know, use your judgment, have fun with it. That's really the most important thing. Okay, I think I'm getting there. And just like I did before with the bangs from the previous design, I'm gonna go in with my brush and kind of fill in the top here. There I go, making the sound effects. Like I said, you all should hear like how I am when it's just me here and I'm trying to do this. It can be a lot. So what I'm seeing here, you know, when you get to this point, this is where I would recommend figure out where you might want to go in to give it a little bit more shape and movement. So you see kind of like that. Maybe a little bit of like I'm dragging this one down to make it look more droplet like. Okay, that is totally blood. That's absolutely blood. I think. Okay. Now that leads me to what is absolutely the most difficult part of this exercise tonight, where we are going to have our main image be for this design a cute little vampire face. So for this, we've got, he's got his, I'm looking at the reference photo here. He's got his widow's peak at the top. That seems pretty straightforward to start with. He then has some eyebrows. He has eyes. He's got fangs with the blood drop. He's got a bow tie and a suit. He's got a lot going on here, and I'm a huge horror fan, as I've mentioned before. Specifically, I love Dracula. The purse that I carry on a regular basis is actually a Dracula purse. It's a purse that looks like a book, like the Dracula book, and it's done so well that, like, whenever I'm out and about and people see that, they're like, "Oh, did you bring a book to read?" I'm like, "Oh, it's a purse," and they're like, "Oh my goodness, it's Dracula." So I chose that as my purse because I think it says a lot about me and who I am. Like, it immediately sends the message to the world that, hi, I'm Olivia. I love reading and I love horror, and it's fun to be able to express myself in that kind of way. So that is one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure to include a vampire here. Okay, so we've got some fresh polish out here, and I'm going to start with his widow's peak. That seems very straightforward. We're going to dip this in. Okay, so it's like, I think I'm actually going to like put a point in the middle here first, like a reference point, and then kind of fan out from there, or kind of fang out from there. Get it? Okay. It's a little crooked, but you know what? It's fine. He's in motion. It's cool. I think I'm gonna give him his eyebrows before giving him his eyes. Okay, well, let's see. Okay. How do I want to do this? Okay, he's got an eyebrow here, and he's gonna have another eyebrow there. Oh. Well, those eyebrows are not matching. They're kind of better now. There we go. Gotta hook him up with some good eyebrows. I'm not doing him wrong with that. Okay. Next, we're gonna go back to the dotting tool. It looks like here in the reference photo, they have like an outline of it's a circle that's outlined in black, and there's white, and then there's red. I mean, I think we can do that. You know what? We're gonna go for it. This is the big one at the end. We're gonna do this. We've been, working our way up. We've been building up our nail art skills. We can do it. Let's go. Okay. I've got a plan for this, y'all. I swear I do. I'm going in with like the bigger dot. I'm just laughing because like already with just this one eye, why is Dracula so mad? Like, what is he upset about? He's upset about these eyebrows I gave him. That's what he's upset about. Okay, we're gonna give him the second eye there. Now, for this, because I want to do those eyes right, I am gonna sit and let that like completely dry before I go back in, because I'm gonna need to go back in with some white and also some red, but we're not doing that yet. Okay, this is good. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now we're gonna give him his mouth, and looks like he's got a little. Okay. Before I do that, spacing. So I can't put his mouth like all the way down there because I need to give him his little suit and tie. So you know what? Let me actually go in and section that off first, because if I can do that part first and make sure to leave enough space for his for his suit and bow tie, that will let me know how much space I have to work with for his mouth. Okay, so that's good. His mouth is gonna go like that. Oh, hi, I'm Dracula. I'm so cute. Yeah. Okay. Let's go in and add maybe like some teeth. Oh, this is gonna be hard. Okay, hold up. This is where I probably need a thinner brush, but I'm just gonna stick with the one that I've got now and just be very intentional about how I'm using it. Like from an angle, you know? What? Okay. Y'all, I'm doing the thing. This is good. He's got teeth. Okay, I'm going back in now and putting in, like filling in his widow's peak at the top here. You know, I will say one of the things I love about doing nail art is that it like makes it so that I'm not thinking about anything else right now. It is such a great way to like focus and to just have fun with this. Okay, I did that. I'm also gonna go in and fill in the bottom here. This is a weird angle. It's obviously gonna be different when you're doing this on an actual nail, but you might have to twist and turn a little bit to get the angle that you need. And of course, it might be the case that you can just go in and fill in whatever you miss, like with your smaller brush. Y'all, that looks like Dracula. What? That is amazing. See, this is also why I did not start with this one, because I needed the like practice and confidence of working with these other ones first to just like build up my abilities. Now I could stop here. No, I would not stop here. Like that's sort of recognizable as Dracula, but I want to add in some stuff. One, I can go ahead and add in like that red drop of blood on the side for sure. Okay, like there. Yeah, that's right. Okay, yep. And now I think the eyes are okay for me to go back to, and I want to take the smaller end of my dotting tool and go in with some white. And I'm gonna put the white kind of like in the corner of the black eye. Okay. Okay. Yes, that's good. That is really good right there. How is this turning out so great? Wow. Okay. What else do I need to do? Okay, he needs a bow tie that's going to be red. So back into the red. And then, so it's like basically two triangles. I mean, that's kind of hard to draw, but it's the thought that counts, I guess. You know what? If I really had this on my nail and someone's like, "Oh, what's that?" It's up to interpretation. It's a bow tie. It's more blood. It's both. Who knows? Okay. And then from here, there's really just one more thing we gotta do, which is put some blood in his eyes. And I can't believe, like, okay, let's just take a minute. Like, how is it that when I tried to draw a spider web, I got that, but then I can draw Dracula and he's coming out looking this good? Like, how? Okay, he looks like an egg, but like, still. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna put just a little dot. And oh my goodness. That is so cute. It is like that's Dracula right there. Again, my version compared to the reference photo, his eyebrows are a little intense, but I'm very happy with how this turned out. So what I'm gonna do now that I've finished all of these, I think I got up to the jack-o'-lantern with putting top coat on. So I'm gonna wait some time for these remaining 4 to fully dry. I'm gonna put the top coat on. I'm gonna take this downstairs to my other lighting so that you all can see how it looks in different lighting. And then I'll film my final thoughts so we can get everything wrapped up. So that wraps up my attempt at these 7 different last minute Halloween nail art designs. Compared to the headspace that I was in when I first sat down and filmed the intro, and like I mentioned, there's a lot of things going on for me this week that just have been putting me in a very down mood with some increased depression and anxiety. I will say that taking the time to just sit down and do something fun like this has completely boosted my mood tonight, and it's given me the chance to channel my energy into something that's creative, something that's fun, something that gave us these adorable little monsters. Hello, I mean, look at that. These are all just so cute. So once again, I hope that this video has been informative, fun, enjoyable for you all. Especially if it's the case that you are realizing that Halloween is coming up and you need to have some last minute nails. Maybe some of these will inspire you. So make sure to check out the description of this video where I've included links to the blog posts, the Instagram pages where I found the original ideas and inspiration for these. And as always, thank you so much for watching and being part of my channel here. I'm so excited about some other ideas that I've got coming up over the next few weeks and months, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Bye.